So here are the solutions. This one is a fairly obvious one. It's pretty much like x sine x. So you take the derivative of x and you just leave cos x, right? Derivative of the first, leave the second alone. Then leave the first alone, derivative of the second, which, derivative of cosine is negative sine, and that explains the negative there. Here, I just multiply out, that's easy enough, and then apply the regular derivative rules for a polynomial. So notice that I could have done this by the product rule, by the way. Maybe it's even worth actually doing that by the product rule. So if I did this by the product rule, I'd take the derivative of the first one, which is just equal to 1, times the second one, leaving it alone, plus leave the first one alone, times the derivative of the second one, and then if I combine these, I get 2x minus 13. So same answer either way, kind of neat. Okay. For this one, we need to segment, right? This is 3 products. So let's segment it first into 2 products. So let's take x times sine x cosine x, right? So one product is the x. And if I take the derivative and leave the rest alone, then I just get sine x cos x. Plus, now I leave x alone and I take the derivative of sine x cos x. Well, again, that's another step of product rule. So the derivative of sine is cosine, so I get cosine squared. Then I have sine times the derivative of cosine, that's negative sine. So sine times negative sine is this. Now, in fact, already I can start using a trig identity. And that's the identity that cosine squared minus sine squared is equal to cos 2x. So that's a helpful trig identity sometimes. And that's where I leave the answer. Here, the relevant trig identity is 2 cosine x sine x, or 2 sine x cosine x, whichever order you say it in, is equal to sine 2x. Well, if you basically keep that identity but replace, x with x over 2 if you like, or call it theta and replace theta with x over 2, however you tend to see it, this equation will be the resulting identity. So these two really are equal. Sine x is equal to this. And since I'm asking for the derivative, it's a lot easier to just find the derivative of sine x. Obviously, it's it's regular cosine, not negative. Next I use another trig identity. The trig identity here is that this is equal to cosine squared. I take the derivative of cosine squared by regarding it as cosine times cosine, and I get the derivative of cosine is negative sine in both parts of the product rule, and that I just put them together and get negative 2 cosine x sine x. Hey, we've seen that before. 2 cosine x sine x is equal to sine 2x. So there's the answer.